Well, there's our half. So the score, the New York Giants 27, the Houston Oilers nothing.
Well, hello. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video, and welcome to the Gridiron. And before I get started, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone out there who's been watching my videos. If you give this video a thumbs up, or maybe leave a comment below, or possibly share this video, it would mean so much to me. But just please, anyway, just thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. Thank you. Got the PFF, the team and the player grades after the marvelous Monday night contest between the Giants and the Chiefs. And we'll talk a little bit just about like the trade deadline at the end there. So let's get cracking at it. I mean, I could be here for about 3.5 years just talking about the game Monday night. But let's just go over the grades here, see what PFF has in store here. Now, overall, okay, the overall grade, team grade, the Giants are number 27. Their team grade is a 65. They kind of flip-flop with Carolina. After they beat Carolina last week, the Giants were in front of Carolina by 1. Now Carolina flipped. Now Carolina is number 26. They're a 69.2, and the Giants' team grade is a 65. Somehow, I mean, the Giants are in front of 5 teams. Wow. Somehow. All right, now we got the offensive grade. I'm sure this ought to be really high. The offensive grade, the Cowboys are 91.4, their offensive grade. Wow. Giants offensive grade, they're 28. Giants offensive grade is a 66. Passing grade, the Giants, 2 different weeks this year, were number 2 in the NFL. Passing grade. One was after the Washington football team, and the other one was against the Saints, I believe it was. The Giants were number 2 passing team in the whole league. They were behind the Bucs. All right, so let's see here. Now the Buccaneers are still number 1. They're 90.1. The Giants were number 2. Now they're numbered down to number 19. They're 72.9. Pass blocking grade. Let's see here. The Giants are number 30. There you go. 51.6, their pass blocking grade. The receiving grade. Let's say the Giants are number 22. They're 69.7. Their running grade. Yeah. The running grade. The Giants are... Oh! The Giants are last. The Giants' running grade is 57.2. They're the only team in the NFL, according to Pro Football Focus, has a grade below 60. 57.2. Their run blocking grade, I'm sure this ought to be really high. 25. Their run blocking grade is a 57.9. Their defensive grade, number 25. The defensive grade is a 58.2. Now, the past 2 weeks, you got to give them some credit. The past 2 weeks, the Giants' defense has been really good. I mean, I forgot how many first downs. The Chiefs had a lot of first downs, but they only had like 368 yards, I think, in total offense. So, I mean, the Giants can't run the ball, And, so the defense is pretty darn good, all things considered. They gave up 20 points to the Chiefs, right? Not bad. Not bad at all. So, I mean, the defense was a huge disappointment. I mean, it was back-to-back games against the Cowboys. They gave up 44. Then they gave up 38 points to the Rams. So they gave up 82 points in 2 weeks. Now, the past 2 weeks, they've given up 23. So, I mean, the past 2 weeks, they've done pretty good. Okay. Now, let's see here. The run defense. Giants' run defense is number 21 overall. They're 52.4. Got a lot of 50s. Not very good. Their tackling grade, All right, their tackling grade. Okay, well, that's one thing. They're a top 5 team tackling. Their tackling is a 69. Okay, so if they were a team that missed a lot of tackles, they'd be even worse. I mean, could you imagine? Oh, the pass rush. Yeah, let's see. I'm sure this ought to be really high. Pass rushing grade, the New York Giants are 26th overall, 65.9. Now, they had another 2 sacks this week, so I think they're up to 18 for the season. After eight games, so that would be on par on a 16-game schedule. They'd be on par to get 36 sacks. Last year they had 40. So, and of course that if it wasn't for the big game against Carolina, I mean they'd be even way below that too. So, but anyway, the coverage grade. New York Football Giants, they're number 21 overall. They're a 56.3. And their special teams grade. New Orleans Saints is number 1, 93.2. Special teams grade. Wow. So the Giants special teams, they've been horrible all year. They're at number 29. They're 57.9. I mean, you figure with Joe Judge has that special teams background, don't you think they would be better than that? 57.9. Okay, so let's go to what we have now, the team reports. Let's go to the offensive grades here against Kansas City. All right, we got John Ross. Oh, yeah, 2 catches, three, out of 3 targets, but 2 out of 3. But he only played, in 16 snaps. I mean, it looks like the Giants had 60 altogether. So, he played in, he had 2 catches. He played in like almost a quarter of the game. So if he played in the whole game, I mean, he might have had like 7 catches or so. It is what it is. But anyway, John Ross was, because of his small, what he participated in, just a small sample, he graded out at a 90.3. Okay. Kyle Rudolph was a 76.4. He was the second. Matt Skura, I'm not sure. I tell you what, they graded out the Giants' offensive line pretty high here. I mean, I think we averaged like 3.6 yards per carry. Devontae Booker had averaged 4 yards a carry. All right, he had 15 carries for 60 yards. All right, Daniel Jones, as his carries, brought the average down a little bit. So, but Matt Skura was 73.3. Billy Price graded out of 71.1. Nate Solder was a 66.5, and Matt Parrott was a 61.8. I mean, so somehow, the worst one was Will Hernandez. He was a 41.8. But other than that, they had 4 out of 5 guys were like graded at 61 or above. So why we can't run the ball? I don't know. Not possibly, because we got a bunch of backups in there at wide receiver. So, all right, well, Kadarius Toney, he graded out. He was a 60.2. All right, he was in there for just about half the snap, but of course he hurt his finger, so I'll have to wait and see if that affects him at all. Corey Cunningham, he was just in there for one snap at right tackle. He graded out a 60. Dante Pettis, he was just in there 1 snap. He graded out a 57.7. Sterling Shepard, he was in there for just 23 before he got hurt and came out, and once again he got hurt. He graded out a 56.6. Devontae Booker, 55.9, Adam. I mean, he had a decent grade. I mean, he had over 100 total yards. I mean, but it's Pro Football Focus. What do you want? I got Elijah Penny. He graded out a 55.4. I'd give him a 0 after that stupid-ass penalty he had that we got a first down on, and then he winds up getting the taunting, and he brings us back 15 yards. Evan Ingram graded out a 53.1. Colin Johnson graded out a 52.9. Daniel Jones graded out a 47.3. Darius Slayton graded out a 42.9. Will Hernandez, as I said, was a 41.8. Caden Smith, him and his hurt knee, graded out a 39.5. So, Oh, boy. All right, now the defensive grades. Let's see here. All right, defensive grades. Keen Crossan. He graded out an 83.4, but he only played in 2 snaps. Okay, but he did get a sack though. All right, so 2 snaps, get a sack. Gotta like that. I guess that's why I graded out an 83.4. Logan Ryan led the team in tackles. I believe it was either him. Hold on there. Was it him or was it Adoree Jackson? Trying to figure here. Let's see. I'm sorry. Logan Ryan was second. Logan Ryan had 9 tackles. Adoree Jackson led the team. Adoree Jackson had 12 tackles altogether. All right. So Logan Ryan was 79.1. James Bradbury, 78.5. Adoree Jackson, 78.4. Julian Love, graded out of 69.1. Aaron Robinson, yeah, baby. He was only in there for 9 snaps, but, okay, 67.2. Yes. So happy we got him on the field. Thank you. Just to see what the guy can do, you know. Reggie Ragland, graded out of 66.4. Darnay Holmes, graded out of 66. Trent Harris, there you go, right? He graded out of 65. Leonard Williams, a little bit of a rough game. He graded out of 60.7, but he had a sack too. Raymond Johnson III graded out of 60.1. He was only in there for 5 snaps. Sam Beal, we had a Sam Beal sighting. Oh my God, he was in there for 1 snap. Graded out of 60. Cam Brown, okay, he graded out 56.6. He was in there for 9 snaps. Dexter Lawrence, he had a little bit of a rough game. He graded out of 56. Quincy Roche graded out of 54.9. The X-Man, who jumped offside, which stopped us from getting a interception, graded at 52.7. He was only in there for 18 snaps, and one of those snaps he was in cost us an interception. Unbelievable. Azeez Ojulari graded out at 50.8. Xavier McKinney graded out at a 44.1, and he was in there for 81 snaps. So that's because Julian Peppers isn't in there anymore. So Jabrill Peppers, I'm sorry. Austin Johnson, he graded out at a 30.9. Tay Crowder, he graded out at a 26.5. Bernard McKinney, he graded out so well the other time. Bernard McKinney graded out at 23.9. Last week, he graded out at a 90.6. So he went from a 90.6 down to a 23.9. A lot of the obviously the guys in the secondary really graded out well. As I said, the Chiefs only had like 368 yards of total offense. Patrick Mahomes didn't throw for 300 yards. Tyreek Hill actually had like 12 receptions. He had 18 passes thrown his way. So, but he had caught 12 passes, but he didn't even get 100 yards receiving. He had 1 touchdown, but he didn't even get 100. He had 94 yards receiving. So, 7. That's like about 7, almost 8 yards of reception. So, Tyreek Hill averaging less than 8 yards of reception. That's pretty darn good. Okay. So, basically everything was just keep him in front, let him complete it, make the tackle. And that's what they did with Tyreek Hill. So the secondary, Logan Ryan, James Bradbury, Adoree Jackson, Julian Love, and Aaron Robinson. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those 5 guys were 5 of the top 6. Okay, so they all did really, really. And Darnay Holmes was up there as well too. So the secondary did very, very good. All right. We still got some problems, but overall, very, very disappointing once again. Just also the way the trade deadline. That's come and gone. All right, and the Giants were a little silent. I guess, I mean, I was reading like even Darius Slayton, okay, he was being talked about possibly being traded. Now the Giants have him for next year as well too. So it's not like a contract year or anything for him. So if the Giants were to get rid of him, I mean you got somebody who's a decent, I'm not gonna say awesome, decent receiver, although he did try drop the pass against Washington football team. Anyway, decent receiver cheaply. He's a 5th rounder. He's cheap this year. He's cheap next year. So I mean, it would be tough to get rid of him. But then I heard there's a lot of talking about Evan Ingram, especially with the Packers or the Bills. A lot of teams that could use maybe a little bit more firepower heading into this playoff stretch, or going into the playoffs and all. And nothing, silent. Now the thing is that I guess if you're going to trade him, I mean, I guess there's two ways of looking at it. One is like the teams that are calling, trying to get Evan Ingram. Okay, they know the Giants are like the Titanic. They're taking on water and they're just going down. Their season's pretty much over. But the Giants, on the other hand, don't want to help out the other teams without getting compensated. So I'm sure the teams were calling for Evan Ingram, okay, wanting to give the Giants a 7th round selection, and the Giants were saying no, we want a 5th, or the Giants wanted a 5th or a 6th, and the other team was only offering like a 7th, or the Giants wanted a 5th, and the other teams were only going to give up a 6th or a 7th or something. So, I'm sure a few teams called about Evan Ingram. The Giants probably wanted at least a 5th rounder, okay, and the other teams just didn't want to give that up. So neither team blinked, and it is what it is. I mean, one respect I can understand, I can appreciate what Dave Gettleman's doing, because it's like, I'm not going to just give you the guy for absolutely nothing. I understand it, but then also you got to look on the other hand, it's because he's probably not going to be a New York Giant next year. So, I mean, wouldn't you rather just get a 6th or a 7th round instead of get nothing? But then again, I mean, you might also get a compensatory pick too. I mean, if he winds up walking, okay, you might get a later on compensatory pick for him. So there's always that possibility. It won't be this year coming up. I think it'll be the following year, in 2023. So, I mean, there's always that possibility. But I was just a little shocked the Giants, needed draft picks, and either that or maybe John Mara said something to Dave Gettleman, just don't bother trading anybody or something, or I don't know, or also that too, I don't know, if maybe Dave Gettleman somehow is like, I'm not helping out whoever's going to be the GM next year, I'm not going to help him out by trading somebody, giving that guy another draft pick. Who knows? That's something you don't know. You'll never find out. But I was just a little disappointed the Giants couldn't make some kind of a transaction, maybe to help get at least another draft pick, for next year, because the way things are going, they can use all the draft picks they can get. But on the good side, what I saw, okay, is that the Giants have, I think, 2 of the top 11 picks next year, okay? And I think the Bears are playing the Steelers next week in Pittsburgh. So the Bears are now 3-5. They're playing the Steelers next week. Let's be a big Pittsburgh Steelers fan, because then the Bears can go 3-6. Now that pick number 11 might go down to a 10 or something like that. So that would be absolutely huge. Now the Giants also have to make the decision. You gotta say, is Daniel Jones going to be your quarterback for the future? I don't know if there's a quarterback coming out who's going to be worth top 10 pick, but that's something you got to think about. But that's not neither here nor there right now. I mean, the Giants got still got 9 games ahead of us. Still got half the season left to go, so we'll have to wait and see. Well, as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to check out this video. You guys stay safe out there, and go Giants. Woo!